Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tearing down a real-world career pivot. We're actually going inside Senior Operations Officer Vong Le's presentation deck to reveal the intense one-week coaching strategy he used to turn some pretty dry operational data into an absolutely undeniable executive pitch. If you've ever wondered how to step up to that next level in your career, well, you're in the right place.
It's the ultimate question, right? How do you actually prove to a committee that you are ready to lead? We're going inside the playbook of Vong's mentors, Senior Operations Manager Morn Van Lida, and an executive public speaking coach. With just one single week to prepare, they completely overhauled his delivery, transforming his technical achievements into an absolute masterclass on executive presence.
To get Vong completely dialed in for his big moment, his team broke the pitch down into 5 core plays: setting the stakes, establishing authority, pivoting metrics to strategy, projecting vision, and finally, mastering the committee ask. This is a super actionable blueprint, so let's just jump right in.
Starting with play number 1, the promotion committee stakes. The psychology behind how they start this is just fascinating. Notice what the coach had Vong do right out of the gate. By explicitly mapping out his current role reporting directly to Morn Van Lida, he isn't trying to hide where he currently sits in the hierarchy. He's visually setting a very clear, grounded baseline for his ambition. It immediately contextualizes every single thing the committee is about to hear. Which brings us nicely to play number 2, establishing leadership authority. Once that baseline is set, he has to prove absolute competence over his current domain. The committee has to trust his operational foundation before they ever buy into his future strategies, right? This is where Morn Van Lida's mentoring really shapes the narrative. Instead of letting Vong get bogged down in the daily weeds, they had him showcase a high-level, 3-pillar KPI dashboard covering financial performance, process excellence, and people building. He's proving he gets the core drivers of the whole department. And then boom, he follows up that massive dashboard with this incredibly precise number, 49.6 out of 50 points. By boldly displaying this near-perfect rating, Vong is essentially dropping the mic on his current role. He's looking at the committee and saying, "My house is in perfect order," which completely clears the runway to talk about the future.
Okay, moving to play number 3. And honestly, this is the absolute core of our explainer today. Pivoting metrics to strategy. Just look at this number for a second. 38%. Vong kept H1 expenses 38% under budget, spending just over $750,000 against a $1.2 million plan. Now, his coach knows this is a massive operational win, but here's the harsh reality. Spreadsheets alone rarely get you promoted. How do you make a localized cost savings sound like a true executive trait?
Well, this is the exact pivot they spent a week perfecting. You take the technical achievement and you flip it into a leadership narrative. So Vong doesn't just walk in and say, "Hey, I saved us some money." He frames it as mastering rigorous budget discipline during resource constraints. It's brilliant. You constantly contrast the operational fact with the strategic vision, proving to the room that the savings weren't some lucky market accident, but the direct result of deliberate, executive-level management.
And they applied that exact same technique to his safety metrics. He hit a 104% pace on journey safety checks and had 0 major safety incidents over $5,000 in impact. But again, to an executive, 0 incidents is just a checklist item. The pivot here is framing it as proof that he can embed an uncompromising culture of proactive compliance and risk prevention across all 5 functional teams. He's selling the culture, guys, not just the raw statistic. All right, play number 4, projecting vision and control. For this stage, Vong's mentors pushed him completely out of that localized spreadsheet mindset. They challenged him to prove he can see the macro-level landscape. By utilizing these really high-level maps, nationwide delivery site risks on one side, fuel theft hot zones on the other, Vong visually projects complete control over a massive, incredibly complex logistical network. He is literally elevating the committee's perspective to a bird's-eye view. And importantly, he doesn't just point out the problems. He shows exactly how an executive solves them. A true leader doesn't just run around putting out fires, right? They use a structured system. Step 1, identify the root cause, like missing SOPs or aging assets. Step 2, clearly define the business impact, like supplier disputes or downtime. And step 3, execute a lasting corrective action, which culminates in this super organized action plan. He assigns clear ownership and strict timelines, like rolling out a new barge fuel SOP by Q4.
But the real standout here is how he shows he'll resolve major compliance issues by collaborating across completely different departments, like teaming up with IT to get AI-enabled cameras on trucks. He is proving he can rally the broader organization, not just his own immediate team. Finally, we've arrived at the fifth and absolute make-or-break moment of any high-stakes presentation: mastering the committee ask.
This is where so many pitches just kind of fizzle out, but Vong's coaching ensured his wouldn't. Instead of passively ending with a polite thank you, the coach had Vong explicitly demand what he needed to succeed. He directly asks for essential leadership decisions, approve the SOP, fund the equipment monitoring, recruit technical staff, and approve those risk-based health checks. He isn't standing there asking for permission. He's framing himself as a total peer, ready to collaborate with executives to get the job done. And as he transitions into that final Q&A, that intensive one-week preparation truly pays off, because he built his entire pitch on structured data, concrete timelines, and cross-functional awareness. Any pushback from the committee can simply be redirected right back to that rock-solid foundation he just laid. He completely transforms what could be a hostile interrogation into a strategic conversation among peers. So, looking at Vong's masterclass in preparation, from setting those stakes visually to pivoting raw numbers into a narrative of true leadership and control, the question you really need to ask yourself is this: how will you pivot your own achievements to prove you're ready for that next level? Because remember, don't just show them your stats, show them your strategy. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.